So in the video today, I'm going to have a look at how we train the horses to walk with us at Liberty on big walks. If you like the video and if you're enjoying what we're doing, if you could like and subscribe to the channel, that would really help, and it helps us spread the word about more gentle horse training and more natural lives for ponies. That would be lovely. Okay, so there's a few elements that I need to be aware of when I'm training horses at Liberty. The first and the most important is their ethology. So a horse's ethogram is its natural behaviours, the behaviours it was born with that have been pre-programmed in the brain for millions of years of evolution. Those are behaviours that are going to be really helpful if I work with them and use them to help me understand what the horses need on those particular trips out. Who's most motivated for what behaviours, because whoever's the most motivated is the one that they're going to follow on that, and different horses have different motivations, so I need to be aware of that. So understanding equidethogram is number one. Number two is understanding the herd's specific dynamic. So who is friends with who? Horses, when allowed, they'll pair bond for life, so they have a special friend. Who's linked to who?
Although I'm not part of the herd, this does include my relationship with them.
Thirdly, what behaviours do I need to actually physically train? So for walking out at Liberty, I need to have a good recall. I need to have a working stay or stop cue. And I need the horses to be really comfortable and confident in lots of different environments, with lots of different stimuli going on around them. The great thing about having a herd is that they will naturally learn from each other, so they want to sync with each other, they want to sync their movements, their heart rates, their breathing. They have evolved to work together as a herd, just in the same way that a shoal of fish or a flock of birds work together. Same principles. So if I've got one horse that's well trained and stays with me and I've got a very close relationship with them, as I bring in other horses, I don't actually need to do the same training again, because they'll just follow the one that I've got with me. I remember there was a really lovely video I watched about a ranch in the States where a guy had lots of horses, and he had trained these horses to come to the beeping of the car horn. It was hundreds and hundreds of hectares of land, so he'd drive the car to the top of the hill, beat the horn, and then feed the horses there. And he only had to train this to one lot of horses, and they were a breeding herd, because then the mares taught the foals and the friends taught the other friends, so he never had to teach another horse because they taught each other. And it's the same principle here. Once you've got one horse who's got it, and it's a horse that is closely paired with another one, then they teach each other, and then it can pass on. So that's handy. Here with these guys, Pixie's had quite a lot of input training because she's been trained to pull a carriage, and I did that quite systematically. We have got a video on here if you want to see how you do train carriage driving using positive reinforcement, and I'll pop a link up to it over here somewhere. So he just had to work on his leading. Initially he tended to pull, I just need to work on his focus on me a little bit, because he's young and impulsive and loves to run, so he'd go off galloping about and just disappear and think, oh, I'm all on my own, and come galloping all the way back again later on, which was fine initially, but I'd like him to stay close in case there's someone else on the path as well. So I did a little bit of work with him, but after a couple of weeks he got it and he's slotted in with the herd. And then when Capri came along last year, I think we had her on the lead rope maybe twice on a walk, and then after that I don't even bother her head collar anymore, because she's completely connected to the herd and she's going to stay with me whatever happens. That would be lovely. Okay, so it's a gorgeous sunny day. It's very frosty, so we're going to head out up over the hill. Dixie likes leading. Go on then. So I put their head collars on them for these walks because there's a part of the walk that goes quite near a road, and I just want to make sure that if anything frightens them or worries them, I've got them close by. There's also occasionally dog walkers, and although they're good with dogs, the dogs aren't always good with them. So it just means that I can get hold of them if I need to, keep them close if I need to, but generally they're loose and they're free. I'm going to use their natural behaviours, so I use instinct, so I know that if I have certain ponies with me, the others won't leave, they'll stay close. And it's not to do with dominance or leadership, it's to do with friendship groups. So I know which bonds are in and who will stay close to who. So I have 2 ropes, one for Pix, one for Bonnie, and then the other 2 guys will just stay with them. Bonnie I keep hold of at the moment when we're up on the very top, when we're up in the open space, because she's a little bit agoraphobic. I don't know what caused that, I don't know when she became agoraphobic. She's a rescue, so all sorts of things could have happened in between. But sometimes she gets into big open spaces and then she panics and she feels like she needs to run. And if she does that, then they'll all run with her. They'll all follow her. So we'll head off and I'll have a chat to you along the way. Okay, so the first bit of this walk, we're not near any roads, we can be pretty much free and pace. I train with positive reinforcement, so I mark the behaviour I want with a click or a word, and then I reward them with a scratch or a treat. So Oscar knows if he stops and waits for me, gets a little treat, as does Pix. Now I don't have to feed this all the time. When I first start off on the walk, I reinforce it, and then they know that's what we're doing, because sometimes they can come up here free. There we go. And then every now and then when they stop and wait, good girl. It's not going to reward that because I don't need to do it every time. We're on a variable schedule of reinforcement, and that just keeps it nice and high. So keep waiting, good girl. Nice. Good boy, Husky. Alright, let's go. Okay. So I know they're attached to me, they're focused on me. The other 2 are coming, just giving her own pace because she's still got quite sore feet. So I don't want her to have to move too quickly. I haven't bothered putting head collar on her because she's not leaving us, she's staying close. It's good ponies. So Oski and Pix are both waiting with me. I've just clicked and reinforced that because they tend to want to move off quite quickly and not wait for the others. So it's a good chance for me to reinforce that waiting. Alright Pix, let's go. Off we go. Left turn. Oscar likes to do his little run thing and then he trip me up every time. Off we go. Okay, so I'm going to reinforce the behaviours that I want to work on. So at the moment I'm reinforcing these 2 staying still and waiting, so I don't have to block their path. They're just standing with me and waiting for the other 2 to catch up because they take longer. So that's behaviour I'm going to work on. I'm also going to reinforce Bonnie at the top of the hill for not running off, being calm and relaxed and brave and not freaking out that she's in a big open space. But other than that, I'm not going to reinforce with anything else. So I've got very specific training targets. If I feel like everyone's losing the plot a bit, then I'll put them on a rope. If I feel there's animals around that could cause problems, I'll pop them on a rope. So I've got a safety net if I need it. Alright, let's have a little wander. So one of the other things I wanted to train was I wanted to be able to reward the back 2 for catching up. So without these 2 coming back with me, so what I do is put a few grass nuts on the floor there, a few here, and feed Bonnie hers, otherwise she'll have her head on the floor forever, and feed Capri hers. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on the way back. and then they know they're rewarded for staying in their order and staying facing the direction we're in, so they don't end up following me everywhere. So Pix has just turned round. I want her facing the other way, and I feed her at this point. So you're always looking at the details of what you're feeding. Good girl, Capri. So everyone's back with me. We're all good. It's important I don't put a lot of food on the floor, otherwise I lose them with the food. And we'll see if everyone will come along. Okay, so we're coming up to the very top of the moor now. And this is where the land all opens up, and it's where Bonnie starts to get a little worried sometimes with her agoraphobia kicking in. Because when she's frightened, she's most motivated to run, she'll run and they'll follow. She has the highest motivation. So I'm going to pop her on a rope, but I'm also just going to reinforce her, reward her. So whenever she looks at me when we're up here, and as soon as I think she's relaxed, I'll chuck the rope over her back or take it off, and then I know she's okay. Right, let's see what happens. Okay, so we're about to go down a really steep hill. As you can see, Oscar loves running at full pelt down this really steep hill. And I don't really want him to be practicing that because it's not incredibly safe. So I put him on a rope, and Pixie won't go too far without him. So this is where I know where the pair bonds come in. These two are really close at the moment, especially because Pixie's in season. So she's staying really close to Oscar. So I'm going to keep him on a rope, try and keep him behind me, and keep reinforcing stop, relax, chill out until we're right down the hill. We'll see what happens. Whenever I feel their energy creeping up, I'm stopping and reinforcing stillness. Oh, nearly lost him.
If we focus on these ideas of understanding ethology, innate behaviours, the herd's individual behaviours, training with force-free methods, and taking time to build your relationship with your animals, it means that we can give our animals a beautiful, enriched life full of freedom, friendship, problem solving, in which we can have huge amounts of fun together.